The greatest joy in life is being by the ocean. It's not just rocks and water out there. It's most of life on Earth. But the ocean, I used to know, no longer exists. Because of us, because of the harm we've done, it's failing. I really believe right now is the last and the best chance we will ever have to save it. Countries are coming together in France. We have the opportunity through the United Nations to deal with some of the big issues that are facing the ocean. In my lifetime, 90% of the sharks have gone. Half the coral reefs, dead. Bluefin tuna, reduced to a tiny fraction of what they were. And it's not just what we're taking out. It's what we're putting in the ocean, all the pollution and the avalanche of plastics that destroy the very systems that keep us alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound honor to introduce a beloved living legend and one of the most influential ocean advocates of our time.
Renowned oceanographer, Dr. Sylvia Earle.
She has spent almost a year of her extraordinary life below the ocean surface.
Sylvia Earle has spent decades at the forefront of ocean exploration.
And at 90 years old, she shows no signs of slowing down.
Bye, Sylvia.
I've always loved exploring the ocean, and it started when I was a little kid. When my parents moved to Florida when I was 12, we lived right on the Gulf of Mexico. I was so lucky to be allowed to explore. We would get a canoe and just paddle down the river, or sometimes just get an inner tube and float down to the Gulf, and that made me fall in love with the ocean. Studying a class in marine biology, I was fortunate when a professor was able to secure 2 of the first scuba tanks available in the United States. The first time I went over and took a breath, it just seemed like a miracle. I could breathe underwater. I could actually explore the ocean on my own terms and see creatures on their terms. That really did change my perspective. And for me, I just didn't want to go back. I wanted to spend more time studying the ocean.
Off the coast of St. John in the Virgin Islands, scientists are probing the secrets of a marine environment as mysterious, remote, and little known as the surface of the moon.
The Project Tektite, an experiment partly sponsored by NASA. It's like the space station underwater.
At a depth of 50 feet, this is a fertile field for underwater exploration. The project is America's only man-in-the-sea research program.
I wasn't the only woman to apply. There were several, and there was no qualification issue, but they did not approve of having a woman living underwater with men. 1970, that was considered unacceptable. The head of the program decided, let's avoid this cohabitation business, just have a team of all women.
Here for a fortnight, the world's first women aquanautics. And from the beginning, the girls show that they are, on all counts, well-chosen and well-qualified.
People wanted to hear, did you use a hairdryer? Did you wear lipstick for the fish? Just stupid things. We didn't care what they said as long as we got to go. We stayed, the 5 of us, living underwater, conducting experiments and exploring the reef. And you could sneak up on the fish. They adopted you as part of their school. It was just one of the most extraordinary experiences.
After 2 weeks, the Aquamaids agree that the only thing men can do down here that we can't is grow beers.
What I realized as a young scientist was not how much we had learned about the ocean, but how much we did not know. So, for me to answer the questions I had, I needed to go deeper.
Beneath the Waves, a new human-shaped submarine. The Jim Suit. Off the coast of Oahu in Hawaii, a pioneering scientist, Dr. Sylvia Earle, is aiming to make the deepest untethered walk in history.
The idea to go where no one had gone before, that was pretty exciting. I guess it equates to being an explorer. When I got to the bottom, he released the strap and I walked off. It was just dark. I started to see a little flash, sparkle, and glow. I was surrounded by all kinds of creatures. It was beautiful. People asked me, "Weren't you afraid? Weren't you lonely down there by yourself?" I'm never by yourself. In the ocean, life is everywhere. We started deep ocean exploration and research. A company creating cutting-edge submersibles so others could go down and see what I had seen. So we're just unwrapping the new submersible.
Yeah, right. Carefully. You need to do this.
Is this the big unveiling?
Pretty much.
All right, this is it. The only way to get that insight of knowing, of understanding why the ocean matters is by experiencing it.
Ready? Quite pretty, right?
Gorgeous. You've grown up with this. You know,
True enough.
remember our first submersible designs? We had at one point 15 engineers that were actually working in the house and the garage.
Oh, I know. That was kind of wild.
Yeah, exactly.
As a kid, it was a little, bit of a roller coaster at times because she was diving and going on expeditions around the world. And so it was a little different. One of the nice things about the design that you've had so much input on is maintaining that view so that that gift of time below the surface is even more impactful for people.
It'll be even better when it's in the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
To take someone into the sea and give them the gift of time underwater so they can see the ocean the way the creatures who live there see the ocean is to really change their perspective. Because all of this is at risk. Exploring the deep sea back in the 1980s, I started witnessing the destruction from the dredges to trawls, hooks and lines that were being deployed from commercial fishing. And I could also see the impact from what was being put in the ocean, all the pollution and plastic junk. And it broke my heart, really. I had to do something.
Dr. Sylvia Earle has been appointed chief scientist at NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the agency that manages the country's coastal waters.
I really went to NOAA thinking that I had an opportunity where maybe I could really elevate the importance of ocean protection. But the reality was a little different.
She found it kind of reprehensible that nature is only being valued when it's dead. She was so much of an advocate for the living animals. They actually banned her from going to meetings talking about tuna quotas.
I felt the obligation to try to do my best to speak for the ocean. But I was being advised what to do, how to speak, what to say. It was frustrating. Sometimes politics governs policy.
I feel that I must resign and, as a private citizen, do what I can do with more flexibility, more freedom.
When I was at NOAA, it was pretty constraining being a government official. I needed to bring together communities and scientists who really cared about the importance of the ocean. Earth is blue. We have to take care of it. It's up to us. And that led to me starting Mission Blue in 2009. A network of 160 plus hope spots, protected areas, and critically vulnerable parts of the ocean, giving people the opportunity to come together to say, I love this place and I will commit to doing what I can do to take care of it.
Here in Indonesia, plastics and pollution is a major issue and threat to coral reefs. With support from Hope Spots, we developed a restoration program supporting the diversity of the corals, the fish, and the iconic species so that we can enjoy these beautiful creatures for the next generations.
The Galapagos Marine Reserve, it's unique because species are found here that are found nowhere else in the world. So protecting these islands is really important.
Right now, only about 3% of the ocean is fully protected. The goal by 2030, with the help of Hope Spots, is to get to 30%.
We have deployed more than 300 artificial reefs. It helps protect and regrow more the seagrass, providing home and feeding ground. Within few years, the amount of dolphins and the dugong has increased, so this is like a big success.
Sylvia Earle, of course, has been an inspiration for us all, and we really support her mission to create more Hope Spots around the globe.
One of the things I love about this project is that hope is leading to action.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Please welcome Dr. Sylvia Earle to the stage.
We have to protect as much of the natural living world as we're able to do on our watch and to restore what we can to heal the harm. No one can do what needs to be done alone. It's only by coming together as we are now on this occasion, United Nations Ocean Conference, to look at what the problems are, to figure out what do we do now that we know what nobody could know when I was a child. Throughout my life, I've felt the obligation to try to do my best to speak for the ocean. And I have realized I can't fix the world. But if I can inspire others to look around and say, this is what I can do here to protect this place, then we can secure an enduring future for ourselves.